Steal your sunshine and I'll shit on your parade. Don't get me started on doing Michael Caine. My opinion matters, yours will fall in last place. I'm not shutting up and you'll be learning my name. Fifth in the family, but first in my mind. 1 out of 10, but I'm ranking just fine. We've only got now, there's no afterlife. Look, Mom and Dad, I'm just speaking my mind. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. Everyone's coming on Kyle tonight. Wait, what? No, nobody's coming on Kyle tonight. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. You can't shut this mouth, but you're welcome to try. I only stop talking to drink, smoke, or eat and cry. I'll never shoot up, gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. You can't shut this mouth, but you're welcome to try. I only stop talking to drink, smoke, or eat and cry. I'll never shut up, gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die.
That is correct.
It's not wrong.
No.
It's not wrong at all.
It's
We're never
not, dude.
wrong.
We're never wrong. We're always right.
So
That's the motto here at Kyle
We do
Mocha
have
Won't
one
Shut
wrong
Up.
thing tonight, dude.
One wrong thing. We have one wrong thing, and
Yes.
we're going to jump into it very quickly. But first of all, welcome everybody to Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up, Season 2, Episode 18. 18.
18.
Ooh, old enough to get fucked in season 2.
That is that. Yeah, we are Season 2 eligible for fuck.
Yeah.
That is what we are. We're eligible for the fuck this year.
If anybody's got nothing to do later,
Come get the fuck with us.
Don't get the fuck.
Come get the
come
fuck
fuck our show up.
with us. Well, welcome again, everybody, to Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up. I am your host, Kyle Mocha, and I'm
hey,
going to be
Kyle.
doing a lot of the not shutting up here.
True.
As always, I am joined by Mr. Justin Olimpedo. Justin, how you doing this week?
I'm good, man.
You're doing well?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're a cruel piece of shit this week.
Oh, why?
It gives you what you brought.
Oh, yeah.
Because what you brought, I'm not happy.
I sort of I noticed it, and then we were joking about it, and
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to buy it. This is going to be terrible. I think it's one of the few times that we know it's going to be bad.
I think I'm going to like it because I like terrible things, though.
It's 10% alcohol.
It's 10%
Literally,
alcohol.
At first, when I read it, I was like, oh, 100% alcohol. I'm
That's
like,
what I
"God
thought when
damn."
you showed me. I was like,
And I'm
there's
like-
no physical way we could drink this.
Yeah.
100%.
But it's 10%.
But it's 10%. And the thing that we're talking about that we're going to be drinking here is a Long Island iced tea, blackberry flavored from TGI Fridays.
Yes.
And I know one person who's really excited about cracking into one. That would be Mr. Zachary.
Oh, yeah.
Stormin'. Good pop.
Oh,
Good pop.
it smells like full
Immediately
alcohol.
bad smell. All right,
Smells
let's
like
all get to
loco.
popping. Let's all get to
Yeah, it
popping here.
does.
Jesus
Smells
fucking
like
Christ!
like
I'm
really
smelling
cheap
the room.
gummies.
I can smell the room before I even move the thing over to my fucking
Man.
face. Oh,
It is
ooh.
Blackberry Long Island.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so a blackberry Long Island iced tea. This is what, like a nice 16-ounce can or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
terrified.
not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
First taste wasn't bad.
No.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give this
There's
a first
definitely
taste.
an aftertaste.
I'm going to be honest. I like it.
It's not bad.
Jesus Christ, that really isn't bad.
But, no.
No.
But for 10% alcohol.
10% alcohol, four in. I'm not going to be able to taste it, so it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter at all, because after 4 of these, I won't be able to feel my face, I won't be able to feel my feet, and that's called diabetes.
Yeah.
I think 4 of these
100%.
would just give you diabetes.
Yeah.
For sure.
You're right.
All right. Well,
Can we remake all the diabetes testing supply commercials with you?
with me,
Yes.
this will give you diabetes. I'm telling you, and this thing will test for your diabetes. I could be Wilford Brimley. I could do that.
Oh.
I look like him enough. Ding! Another one. Another one. Every time. Every week.
It's a
I feel
sound
like.
effect board I have.
It's a nice sound effect board. It's a really nice one. You get that weird one that
Called
sounds like
Windows
bubbles.
10.
The one that sounds like we're just blowing milk bubbles.
Blowing bubbles.
The milk bubbles
Yeah, the
sound
blowing
effect.
bubble
It's a
sound
really
effect.
weird sound effect. I don't know
Yes.
where you get it so often from. Well, this week we have a very, very special episode. Very special episode. We are joined by a first-time guest. A regular at the wonderful Cinder Inn, our weekly sponsor, without them knowing it. We are joined by Mr. Jason Cobb. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Hey, thank you.
We give applause to people we like, and it's offensive to other people who listen who have been on the show and didn't get applauded. And that's, I guess, that's why we do it. Aw,
Oh, man.
he brings us warm beer though, so I don't know what we're applauding there. All right.
Guitars and amps.
Well, and guitars and amps and
tons of-
friendship and
tons of stuff.
and
All kinds of
niceness.
things, yes.
But realistically,
James, it's the
It's
people
warm
want
beer.
us to be mean to you. We don't want to do it.
We've reached
That's
out
just
to
what
all
the
of them.
Fans want.
we've reached out to all of them, and they've said meanness is what everybody wants. But we're
James, I brought cold beer, buddy.
he brought cold beer, brother. He brought the cold beer.
Good
now,
shit.
Now, Jason Cobb, Jay Swan, man of many names. We're going to be getting to in-depth conversation about exactly why he's here and something awesome and special that he's brought along for us to try at the towards the end of the show.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But you're going to hear him throughout the show, and that's who it is. It's Jason Cobb, and if you don't know, just Google him.
know.
Google him. That's what I'm just saying. Just Google Jason Cobb Swan, and by the time we get to it, you're going to be ready for a good fucking interview.
Yeah.
Now,
Fucking
a good fucking and a good interview. That's what we're into. So speaking of good things that have happened in the world, I don't know if this is good. It is on the train of diabetes, though.
Diabetes train.
All aboard the diabetes train.
We're clipping
Peeking,
a bit there.
clipping,
I don't know.
peeking
We're
and clipping.
clipping a little
Ooh,
bit.
a little bit.
Clip it a little bit.
But speaking of Pappy,
New setups
even
and shit, you know?
the Pappy is a good segue. Right next door to Floods.
Yes.
In the last couple of weeks.
oh my
I have
God.
not been. I
They
can't
have
wait to go,
opened
though.
Grandpa Joe's Candy Shop.
Can't wait to go.
Yep.
I did not go inside because it was the afternoon and I was drinking, and I don't feel like I should belong in a room full of children and candy in the afternoon while I'm drinking. But I think that this place is missing out on their hours. They need to stay open till at least midnight
You're right.
because it is
You're
a
right.
candy shop. That is directly next to one of the most popular bars on Main Street in
sure.
Stroudsburg. And what I love about it is it took a business that, I mean, there was a business there for what, like 20,
That was the
25
painting
years?
place, yeah.
And
it
then,
was like,
and then last year
guy
they
and
went
his
out of
wife.
business and it became like a framing shop or whatever for
Yeah.
like 1 year.
Wasn't
and
it
then
a clothing store too?
a clothing store before that
yeah, I
for
think
like
they
years.
moved down a couple
Yeah.
places now.
But it was, it was Sassy Girl. That's
No,
what
then
took
it was
over.
Sassy Girl.
Then it was
Oh, yeah.
Sassy Girl. But I think wait, before
So I was
was
checking
that
the mannequins.
Either
out
way,
there.
Either
in
way,
between
either
transitions,
way.
I think that it went through another.
another one in there
Clothing
somewhere.
store,
But
yeah.
this is promising. They did a nice remodel on it. It is your classic all-American candy shop.
Yeah, dude, it's
and
awesome.
the font that they're using, I love. It's called Grandpa Joe's Candy Shop.
Well,
or
did you
Candy
read
Store.
about them?
I did not, but I was
Okay.
gonna hypothesize something here. Well, all the font that that they use is the Willy Wonka font.
Yeah, they
so-
specifically say they are inspired by one.
Oh,
and
Grandpa Joe. I get
and
it
Grandpa
now.
Joe
Yes.
is the main
Exactly.
grandfather.
Do we know who owns it?
I don't, because I'm curious. This is what I'm hypothesizing. Is it Grandpa Joe's Bagels? Did they just decide?
But that's Grandpa Pete.
that was Grandpa Pete.
Pete's,
There
yeah.
we go. There we go.
And I doubt it. Cause
And probably not. Probably not, because that place wasn't good.
have you been in floods recently?
Well, this is. I was gonna say
I
my
have.
two things about this place, Grandpa Joe, or
Grandpa Joe's.
yeah, is I got a text from Zach.
Yes.
He was at Floods.
Yes.
And he sent me a picture of little baby hands and said, Floods is, I feel sorry for the cleaner. Floods is just littered with, not littered with candy, but like candy residue everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's just sticky. And
It's gonna
then
be
the
so much
other
fun
picture
dip
that I saw was
everywhere.
Charlie, I guess so, Charlie Pishnick at the jukebox with
Yeah.
like what he hauled in for the day. Like,
Just the candy.
yes, just the
So,
candy.
dude, let me tell you about my night at Floods.
Have you been into this candy shop?
I have not.
Okay.
Because I couldn't make myself do it.
All right.
Last Saturday, me and Pat go to Floods.
Yeah.
Early, like 7. And it's the regular crowd.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
People drinking the blue.
I don't have to say the names. You know all the guys and gals
Yeah.
that are in there.
The corner.
And they're everyone
Yeah,
has just
the
been
corner.
going over to get candy the whole time. So there's cups full of vodka all over the bar, full of vodka and gummy bears and Skittles. Like,
even think
people
about that.
are putting
Did
everything.
not think about that.
That's
all
an
kinds
awesome
of
idea.
candy.
I didn't think about that.
Jesus
That's
People are
brilliant.
just passing it around. Everyone, we're all just eating alcohol-soaked candy. And
Is
then
that legal?
they're playing the
Can
jelly
they get in trouble
beans.
for that?
If they allow you to bring outside food in, you're good.
True.
Wait, you use jelly beans?
No, they're throwing jelly beans.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
everyone's throwing jelly beans at each other,
Okay.
trying to catch them in their mouth. Joey Sprafkin, the champion, he said that his nickname used to be Mr. Goldfish.
Oh.
He could catch so
I
many
was saying it's
goldfish.
definitely not because he forgets things every 3 seconds.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that wouldn't
it's
make
30.
any sense. 30 seconds. I think the whole thing's is a hoax.
But
on that.
I
anyway,
think
the
so, too.
place was fucking jumping, and there was candy fucking everywhere. It's gonna be wild for the next.
See, I
couple
don't
weeks.
think Kyle lets outside food and beverage in, though.
We do not let outside
No.
food or beverage
Nope.
into the cinder, especially
Nope.
alcaloholic beverages.
Well,
Man.
I don't think Floods does
Strict-
either, but it's
strict
us.
asshole.
Very
over
strict,
here.
Carol.
Yeah. Well,
Whoa,
I mean,
sorry,
as
Beth.
far
Whoa.
as far as the fucking candy being an outside, I think. I don't know. If I walk in and I got a stick of gum, they're not going to yell at me for putting a stick of gum in my mouth. If I pull out a Fun Dip, are they going to yell at me for eating? Like, they don't sell
No,
Fun
true.
Sometimes I bring my own mixers into Floods.
Dip. Wait, whoa. What mixers do you bring them in because they don't have them?
Yeah.
What
Like,
are they specifically? What are these?
Sometimes other people have been known to bring in cream soda for the.
Oh.
There's like a
Makes sense.
certain
Yeah, not a lot of
certain
places do the
bomb
cream.
and cream soda,
True.
and a lot of times I used to go and get the balls from the.
The balls,
it's an energy
the
drink.
You know
energy
the ball,
drink,
BAW.
BAWLZ or whatever.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good soda,
Yeah.
and it's got caffeine in it. And I just like for a while I was on a kick. I would buy like 4 balls, go to Floods. They would put them in the coolers for me.
What,
and they
what
just
we're saying though
yeah,
is
just
do
pour my
not
drinks.
go to Floods and bring your own mixers.
Yeah,
mixers.
don't try
just
that.
show up.
No.
Don't just try it. But
You have to be a
If
you
you're-
have to be a good patron.
if
to
you're going to do that,
Get to know them.
bring Faygo. If you're
Yes.
gonna do it, bring Faygo and go. Listen, I know you got cola of some sort, but
you
I
got
only
Faygo.
drink Faygo cola. And make it only the Faygo cola. Don't bring the good, different,
Yeah,
weird
no,
Faygos.
don't.
Just bring their base, or just bring in your Shasta cola and be like, I prefer Shasta cola,
Dude,
and see what Floods does
Speaking
about
of
it.
cola or Faygo cola, I had bought some Faygo cola in the middle of winter.
Yes.
And then I must have taken a can with me when I was plowing one night.
All right.
And somehow I got in my toolbox in the Jeep.
Did it explode?
And then, I forgot it was there. And it froze and unfroze and froze. And then I had to get something out of my toolbox.
For
Like,
the first time in 6 months.
no. I don't know how I didn't notice it because the Jeep's always breaking.
Yeah.
But anyway, I broke down.
It's a Jeep.
And I had to get something out of the toolbox. And I opened it up. And everything is sticky. All my fucking tools, the jumper cables are covered in like a nasty residue. I have the manual, like it's just soaked through like the first 40
the original
pages.
manual.
Do you think it was any
No, it's like
more?
a Haynes or
okay.
Do you think it's any more sticky than it would have been if it was regular Coca-Cola?
I don't know. It's dude,
Probably.
it's so
I
sticky.
feel
I
like
said
there's more
fuck
There's
it.
got to be
in
more
there.
sugar in that.
I left
There's
it
gotta
open
be.
for the day. All the doors, everything open for a day. And then I said, fuck it. I don't care if it's sticky. It's too much to clean.
Fuck. I mean, I gotta say, I think that the sugar content, without looking at it, definitely has to be higher in
I think
Faygo.
Mountain Dew is the worst though.
Well, Mountain Dew's
especially
the worst.
if you get into the
What
Baja
about the Faygo
stuff.
Mountain Dew? Like their version of
No,
that?
I don't think so, dude. Some of like the Baja one for Taco Bell is like 68% sugar.
They're trying to make it taste like a margarita, but
Yeah,
it's Mountain
pretty
Dew.
much,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That would make sense that it's all sugar there. But I'm just saying, you look at those ICP fellas and gals, they're all hopped up on sugar for sure.
No, they use diet.
They use
Trust
because
me,
it
I've
doesn't-
seen
it doesn't
I've
stick
seen
as much.
ICP before
Wait.
in concert.
They use diet at the show when they're spraying
When they're
everybody.
spraying you.
Oh, okay. I
after
was just
show.
talking about how they're all hyper, you know?
How they're all
if
drinking.
that's not natural,
Could be the
it
meth.
must. Oh, I forgot meth existed. I forgot all about meth there for a second. All right. Yeah. Well, Justin, I wanted to do a little.
You forget about meth, dude.
I left it at home. I left it at home.
The meth was left.
Well, Justin, the other day, since last week, we started talking about sports right off the top, right? We talked a little bit about some baseball.
Yeah, it's looking good for the Phillies.
It is Bryce Harper on the show cover. He is the one that's on the MLB 19. Yeah. He struck out twice. His first 2 at-bats.
Right, but now he's on fire.
Well, but got booed so bad. So within a couple of days, there were death threats sent to a guy in Detroit for hurting him.
No, it was Toronto.
Or Toronto, sorry. Yeah. It was a rookie, though, right? It was a rookie guy.
They're still going to murder that kid.
Yeah,
but.
So they sent death threats in support of Bryce Harper.
Yes.
And then within days, they were booing him and probably sending him death threats via Twitter. And he got a full dose of Philly right there.
Oh, yeah.
He got fucking
here's the thing with Bryce Harper,
Philly right up the ass.
The thing about Bryce Harper is he's going to slump because he was on a slump and then he came to Philly.
And most people, right after you sign a huge contract, they drop. They drop a little.
Well, no, I think it will perform well for most of the season, but he will go into a slump. But here's the good thing. Here's the good thing about Philly right now is they have other people picking up the slack. So they have other batters that are doing really, really well. Yeah,
well, that's good. That's good. But what I want to get to in the world of sports, we
weren't talking about.
I wasn't really going to talk about the Phillies because fuck them. Well, 2009 was a good year for the Phillies. The Yankees beat them fair and square.
You know what we should do? We should just Twitch stream us watching Phillies games.
Oh, we can do that.
You can do that,
and
right?
I'll just
as long as we modify. As long as we modify.
That's how we get my brother Craig on the show.
Okay,
he'll show up for that for sure.
But
that'll actually get me to watch. I can't watch baseball. It's so boring sometimes.
But if we Mystery Science Theater...
If we're having fun doing it,
Well, I've always thought that a great idea would be HBO or Showtime or one of those pay-for channels, or really nowadays YouTube or anything like that, actually offering unrated sports, like where the commentary can be full-blown unrated. I know at one point they tried like Dennis Leary on like... Or not Dennis Leary. Was it Dennis Leary? Dennis Miller. He did like sports announcing for like Fox and stuff, and then there was the idea to possibly move him to HBO and have him do like NFL coverage.
Yeah.
But I just want to be able to watch a baseball game and hear the announcer like after someone cracks a fucking like a ball off the fucking face of the second drive. Holy fuck, he just lost an eye. Jesus fucking Christ.
What if they did that in the movie theaters? Like they just say like, you know what, this local movie theater
you can pay $8 to go watch the baseball game
and you're in a room with whoever, whatever the fans are at that point.
The power of swearing, man. The power of swearing.
That could be our shtick.
That could be our shtick.
Could be. Get a bunch of people together watch baseball games. And commentate on it.
Now, Justin, I was reading some articles on SBNation.com, and I realized
what's SB
sports bleachers, something like that. I don't know. But either way, I know them as Pinstripe Alley.
Okay, yes, I know that.
Pinstripe Alley is a Yankees app, news app that you can get all of the updates for the New York Yankees. And I realized, this is one company that has 32 websites that are all named different things, but it's the same exact website, same logo, everything like that.
NFL does the same thing.
Like Pinstripe Alley, like between two bigger streets, a smaller street. Not like an asshole.
Like a girl named Allie?
Not a girl named Allie, and not like a vagina or an asshole or anything like that. Pinstripe? No, that's Pinstripper Alley. Pinstripper Alley. Yeah. She strips with bowling stuff.
Just pins?
Yeah, she's got pins for pasties.
Inside of herself?
Pins for pasties.
That's not Peppermint Patty.
That's not Peppermint Patty.
That's a different one.
Oh, that's a different one. Is that when they have a peppermint patty in their mouth? And
there's also
your wiener in there?
Patty Pancake Tits.
Ooh.
Yeah, yep.
That's a good person.
She's 70 now.
Yeah.
Well,
is she?
Well, as I was saying, the Yankees website on SB Nation is Pinstripe Alley. I wanted to see if, based on just the names, you could tell me what team it's for. All right? Yeah. Just real quick thing.
Is this all sports?
These are all baseball teams. These are all baseball teams. All right. So I'm going to give you the name of the website. You tell me who you think it is. All right. All right. The Federal Baseball.
Is that the Nationals?
That's the Nationals. All right. That's the Nationals. There you go. Southside Sox.
White Sox.
That is the White Sox. That is, they are on the south side as opposed to the north side that the Cubbies are on.
Yeah.
All right. Amazing Avenue.
Oh. Bless you.
Damn.
Amazing Avenue.
Amazing Avenue.
The
Mets?
The Mets. It is the Mets there. Over the Monster.
Is that the Rockies?
No.
Yeah, fuck, it's...
Who's got a monster? Who's got the monster?
the monster.
Is it Phillies?
No, that'd be
the
Boston, the Green Monster.
Yeah, the
Over
Green
the Monster.
That's right, yeah.
All right.
No, Phillies would be
Bucks Dugout.
Bucks Dugout.
Bucks Dugout. You know what that is?
No.
They're not the Buccaneers. They're just Pirates. Pittsburgh Pirates.
Fuck the Pirates.
Yeah, fuck the Pirates. All right, and then the last one. This is honestly my favorite one out of all of them. The Good Fight.
Good Fight.
The Good Fight. And I'll give you a hint. Okay. Fight is spelled PH.
Oh, the Phillies.
It's the Phillies. Their fucking website's
I thought it would have been
The Good
Fanatic.
Fight. I thought it would be something along those
yeah.
lines. But I'm really stoked for baseball this season. I at the Cinder, our unofficial sponsor, along with Cock Rings, we have the package that gets every single fucking game. So I was watching like a Rockies game the other night. Yeah. I was watching the fucking Cardinals. So
it's still. I still want to go to multiple. I want to take a trip during like one summer, different days, and go up the coast and go to different parks.
Dude,
whoever's playing the cheapest tickets that you can get.
Yeah. Dude,
not necessarily the cheapest tickets,
when
but
I made
the
my one journey to Baltimore, one very forgetful night, and I woke up in the parking lot of the Orioles Stadium, and I looked and I saw the tickets were like $12. $12 for like not terrible tickets. So
yeah,
it's
that's
really
what I mean.
That
Like
cheap
a decent seat for the
if you avoid New York, if you avoid Boston.
Yeah, I'm good on going into New York for either team.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to New York for almost anything. If I have the choice to go to Philly or New York,
true.
Yeah,
it's just
I'll
easier
go
to get
Philly
in and
any
out
day
of
of the
Philly.
week, man.
It's just way easier to get in and out of Philly.
All right. Well, now that we're on baseball, I do want to segue to a very cool thing that might have possibly happened. It might have possibly happened. I don't know for sure if this has happened.
You got called up to the majors.
We got called up to the majors. We're no longer doing the podcast. We're all becoming baseball pitchers.
Okay. All right.
Sweet.
What teams are we playing?
You're on the Dodgers.
Nice.
He's on the Diamondbacks, and I'm on.
I guessed
I'm
if
on
that
the
was a
Rays.
team.
I'm
You're
on the
Rays?
Rays.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Jewish people and alligators.
Tampa Bay?
So I went. Yeah, I'm going to Florida. But last night I made a post about this show from our Instagram. Kyle Moak won't shut up on Instagram, and we got a like and a follow. And I look at it, and the name is just The Truth Hurts. And I go, okay. And I look at it, and I, enlarge their symbol, and it says, "The Truth Hurts" with Jose Canseco. And I was like, no fucking way. Like, no way is this real.
Right.
No way. And I'm looking, and he's got like 5 followers. He's following 98 people.
Yep.
I look on YouTube. I'm trying to find him on iTunes. I can't find it. On YouTube, there are like
So is
8
he's
videos.
coming on the show then?
He's definitely coming on the show. We're going to bounce balls off his head into the stands for a ground rule double.
You know what my favorite thing about Jose Canseco is
The
he
steroids?
he was in a MMA fight in Korea or China, one of the two, and it was a battle royale style.
What's that mean?
Really?
Where when you defeated one person, you would
Yeah.
stay in the ring, and the next competitor would come out, and it was the most ridiculous thing. So he fights this one dude.
Were there
wins.
other celebrities, or is he
No,
just...
he's just the only celebrity there doing
He
it.
just needs some money, huh?
And
He really does.
so he fights and wins his first fight, and then they send out almost like a 9-foot Chinese dude, just this tall, skinny dude that just beat the shit out of him.
Damn.
Good,
But it was
'cause I've
definitely
met that
scripted.
guy.
Canseco?
Yeah, and he's a fucking asshole.
I would assume he's a big cocksucker.
He
I mean,
is.
he
I'm
was
not going to
in
go into it.
Oakland.
I'm just going to say I met the guy. He's an
Dickhead.
asshole.
Good.
Straight up.
Well, you know what, Jose? Thank you for the follow. If
Yes,
that's
thank
really
you.
you. But
I
still,
think it's just more or less click like on every podcast that pops up.
Yeah, every podcast that pops up. But I'm not sure the story that I heard.
But if you do
when,
like the
when
show,
I went on
thanks.
his YouTube channel, the story I heard him talking about was when he first met Alex Rodriguez, and Alex came over to his house, and this was when Canseco had a shitload of money. So he had the biggest house, the hottest wife, everything he could possibly have.
Right.
And Alex is, maybe just got signed, and he's going to be in Seattle. And he looks at Jose's wife and out loud, I guess, says, "That's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life." And within a couple of years, Jose is on the down, Alex is on the up, and Alex wound up dating the chick. So it's apparently the podcast
I
The
love
Truth
Karma.
Hurts with Jose Canseco, it is Karma right there for sure,
Yeah.
is about him just dishing out dirt on every celebrity he's known, probably because he doesn't have a nice house with a hot wife anymore,
Probably.
and a little bit of brain damage. He's like the only guy in baseball that probably has terrible brain damage. He's got like NFL level brain damage just from shoving needles into his fucking arm and having balls bounce off of his head for ground rule doubles. Still one of my favorite things that's ever happened in a baseball game. He was boom, right off his head into the fucking stands. What a dummy.
My favorite
What
thing
a
about
big
Jose
fucking
Canseco
dummy. Yeah.
is there is a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers overdub on YouTube. I forget who made it.
Hell
But you know how
yes.
they all like flip over the camera and land?
Yeah.
It's their first season. And when Jason, the Red Ranger, lands, and he looks at the camera and does like the whole fist thing, and the overdub just says, "I'm Jose Canseco, motherfucker!"
It's the best
and
thing
I
he's
lose
done
it
for you.
every time.
It's the best thing he's
Oh,
ever done.
it's amazing.
Specifically for you. I think that's why he did it.
Yeah.
I think that's why he did it. All right. We've talked about the sender in already a lot, but I do want to mention something that I think is one of the coolest occurrences that has happened yesterday.
Yep.
Slow night. I realized somebody left 10 credits on the jukebox, so I go over, and immediately there's like 3 or 4 things that I'm probably going to play. One of them is always going to be Wheeler Walker Jr. And
You are very
it's
much
wonderful.
pushing it.
How
You're
much do
very
you
much
enjoy it,
pushing it.
Cobb? Watching people not realize what it is and then slowly listen to the words of what sounds like a bullshit everyday country song, and it's
Just Google it.
oh, if you haven't,
If you haven't heard Wheeler
you
Walker,
need to hear it.
Oh, my
you
God.
need to hear it. Now, what I was shocked with is I went over to the jukebox to play some Wheeler Walker Jr. and Wheeler Walker Jr. is officially the number 2 artist on the Cinders jukebox now.
that's from Frank Morrow.
That's from Frank, from Thad, myself on boring long nights. I play that as
I even
often.
don't realize sometimes when it's on. I'll walk in and be like,
Anal in
"Yeah,
the
all right."
Dishes
and then
is
I
playing,
hear something
and I'm like, oh shit, that's Anal
Wheeler
in the
Walker.
Dishes. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I've been playing a lot of I Like Smoking Pot a lot, and then the follow-up song, because in that song off his new album, if you've not heard it yet, Cobb, there's a line where he says, some people like booze, some like sucking dong. Brother, I like both, but that's another song, and I'll sing it to you later. And then later on the album, he has a song called I Sucked Another Dick Last Night.
Well, my favorite's licking pussy and kicking ass.
Yeah. Eating pussy, kicking ass. Because halfway through towards the end of the song, it turns to sucking dick and kicking ass. Because he gets into it with a tranny, and it's fucking amazing.
It's getting into other people.
That's when
'cause
Kyle likes it.
That's when I like it the best.
Yeah.
At parade day, I was hanging out with someone who is not a super frequent Cinderer, but comes in there, and I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah.
But he was singing I Like Pot a lot.
Yeah.
Like, just walking around parade day, just humming it and singing it, and I was like,
Fuck yeah.
There's
And
a
It's infectious. It's a great fucking album, the new album. It's an amazing fucking I know who it is.
Speaking
Never
of,
mind.
you know what it is.
Um,
We're just not going to stand.
We're not going to say his name. But either way, so I'm looking at the
dirty, though.
list. He is dirty. I'm looking at the list of who the others. They show the top 8 on the front. So number 8 is Toby Keith.
yeah,
All right.
Makes sense, right? Number 7, Leonard Skinner.
right.
Then you get Chris Stapleton. Number 5 is a little bit of a curveball, Rihanna.
Okay.
Rihanna, but that makes sense.
The ladies,
Wait, is-
it
this
doesn't
is
matter
what?
who
This
you
is-
are,
this is
ladies
what?
like
Put on
Rihanna.
R&B. This is the top 8 on our jukebox.
Okay. This
Top
is
8 artists. Then you get Zach Brown Band.
Sure. Makes
And
sense.
then the top 3. And if these were the top 3 artists in the world right now, if the Cinder was like a sampling and it just like exponentially went out and these are the top 3, we'd be living, I mean, we already live in the weirdest fucking world in the weirdest time. But number 3, we already know number 2 is Wheeler Walker Jr. Number 3 is Lady Gaga.
Okay.
And number 1 is Adele. Adele, Wheeler Walker Jr., and Lady Gaga. And I know one woman who is responsible for the Adele and the Lady Gaga because she'll come in and put $50 in the jukebox
just play it?
and play only Adele and Lady
Will she
Gaga
stay for it?
hours, and she will stay until the last song. She just moved to England, so that's probably going to
It'd be
change in a couple
really
of months.
fucked up if she was just like, fuck these guys.
Oh, then I would
$50
just
worth
start
of
skipping. I would just start skipping. But you mentioned, Cobb, that Eating Pussy, Kicking Ass is one of your favorite songs, if not your favorite from him. That is the number 7 overall song played on the jukebox.
Wow.
Overall.
Damn.
And then number 8 is Toes by Zac Brown Band.
Love it.
Number 6 is Chicken Fried by Zac Brown Band.
As also.
Then you get I Love This Bar, Toby Keith.
Yep.
Cocaine, Eric Clapton.
Good one. Good,
So far makes sense.
good song.
People Are Crazy
Absolutely.
by Billy Currington. Rolling in the Deep by Adele. She just keeps sneaking in there. And then Tennessee Whiskey, Chris Stapleton, which
That's
is,
a good
I
one.
think the song
It's
is
a great
here.
song.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it is getting, like, well, I don't know when that one came out, but I feel like in the last, like, 6 months, it is getting a real big push. Everybody, it's like hit classic
It's an older
standard.
song. He just redid it.
He just redid it?
Yeah,
Okay, I would say
yeah.
that hit, like, classic fucking standard immediately in the last 6 months.
He's
So
great.
I got a text from Pat last night
Okay.
about a country song.
All right.
Pat's on a country kick, and it's by Little Nas X. Little Nas X.
Lil Nas X, okay.
Yeah.
That's a
Not
country
familiar.
artist?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
he does the.
Ain't that a rapper?
He's a rapper.
Nas
but
is
he's
a rapper.
He's a country R&B
Oh,
artist that raps.
okay.
Okay.
He has one song.
Okay.
He got blown up by memes.
Oh, shit.
I forget all the stats. Let me really look this up. But basically, he made the charts. I think he made Billboard at like 18
Damn.
for one song.
It's like
Okay.
a Obama scenario? Where just out of nowhere?
Out of nowhere,
Yeah,
just
sort
one
of like-
song up
like
and
it was
just
made,
took
like,
the world by
it-
storm.
If you haven't seen it, the Yeehaw Challenge.
Okay.
It's like
Not
this
familiar with that at all.
weird fucking thing.
Where you just
This
shout
memes,
yeehaw
no, it's
places,
this
or-
meme thing, and the song plays behind it. But
Okay.
it got blown up to that point. But I think he made it to 8 in the country charts.
Okay.
And they removed it. So people were like,
Because it's not technically country? Is
well,
that
that's
why?
that's the reason, and he came out and
Well,
said why. But
have you
they're like,
listened to
oh
country
no, it's fucked up. You got
much
rid
in
of
the
this
last
'cause
10
it's-
years? Most of the country in the last 10, 15 years, and
Goes
Wheeler
into
Walker
that.
Jr. himself has said this, modern country music is now for people that are too afraid to like rap and hip-hop. If you
Right.
listen to most of the lyrics, most of the beats that they throw in there, if it was just a brother from Detroit singing these songs, it would sound
gonna-
like a fucking solid 90s R&B song.
I'm gonna play you it real quick.
All right.
Not the whole thing.
Are we
just
going to be able
a
to
snippet.
hear it for the
Hear it,
people?
No, the people aren't going to.
So the people aren't going to be able to
I mean,
hear
I
so we'll
guess
do
it doesn't
commentary.
matter. He
Yeah.
doesn't really give a fuck.
He doesn't
but
give a
just,
fuck.
just in case.
All right, so let's play. This is
You've
again,
definitely heard this song before. But
Lil
Pat,
Nas X, and the song's called Old Town Road.
yes.
Okay.
But Pat was like such a good song. Like all about it is like I listened to it 30 times already.
Damn.
And I'm like, okay. And
All
then
right.
until I realized what it actually was.
Okay. This is actually a Red Dead Redemption trailer. Oh, this is
No,
a song.
it's him playing.
Oh, yeah, I've heard this a million
Yeah.
times in a million memes.
Yeah.
Is it a cover of anything
No.
by any chance? This is all originally him.
What's he gonna do with the horse in the hotel room? I want to know.
I
don't know.
really hope he's got plans for that horse in that
Yeah, dude,
hotel
this
room.
this is sort of
Jesus.
good. I won't lie.
But
This
the,
is
but the
sort of
records
good.
that this thing broke for coming out and like not records.
And it came
but
out on the
fact
country
that-
charts.
Yeah.
All right. Now, how recent is this song coming out? This is the last couple of months or so?
2008. It was December 3rd,
Wait.
2018.
2018. I think you said 2008 for a second. I'm like,
He did.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so it made Billboard Hot 100 at 83.
83. Okay, still.
Hot country songs at 19.
19.
Hot hip hop R&B and hot R&B and hip hop songs at 36.
Okay.
And then
So it
March
charted
2019
higher-
they removed it from.
It charted higher in country than anything else. That is just proof that people in country just want to listen to rap and hip hop, but they want a country twang to it.
Hell no, I'm redneck. I
Well,
ain't
you're
never heard
redneck.
that song before.
You listen to country.
Well,
though.
that's
Yeah.
a different. You're
Yeah,
not.
you're
You
listening to,
listen
like-
to old country.
Yeah, like traditional
you listen
country.
To good
And new.
and new, but you like the guys who honor the old
Yeah,
standard
there's
of
still
country a little bit
traditional
more, right?
country
The
artists.
list that I read off of what the top 10 at the top 8 at the jukebox at the Cinder, those aren't. I mean, they're not shameful country. They're not. You're like, this isn't my dirty secret who I like in the country world. This guy is more in the vein of, oh God, I mean,
No, I mean, there's been artists like actual modern country artists that have done stuff with like Ja Rule.
Yeah.
But
I think this guy is more in the vein of what
No,
was
and that's
bad
I got no
country
problem
stuff.
with that.
Yeah,
I like
Sure,
some
sure.
of that.
Yeah.
I like the
But-
beat.
but
I think
they're-
people like the beat.
Yes.
Sure, yeah,
You know,
And people like to dance, no matter what. People like to dance. So if it's,
I love
if
to
you're at the
dance.
bar and you're drunk and anything comes on and it does have a solid beat, you're gonna dance. But I think that song, just like off of hearing just that song is proof that in the last 15 years, the newer, younger, that
they're
side
listening.
of things.
You have to figure people
They-
are listening to mumble rap, and then
Well,
that's
I
another
think-
thing
well,
that they're
I
also
think
listening
people like
to.
that because
This
they
is
love
the
that
country
trap
version.
beat.
Yeah.
That
Oh, yeah,
trap
yeah.
beat with those triplet hi-hats.
Sure.
You hear that, and no matter who's... It could be the worst rapper of all time on that.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, this beat is kicking, and every song sounds the fucking same,
Yeah.
but we don't care because whoever invented that beat that one time, like, they made, like, a 4-bar loop of it. They're like, this is it. This is what
Yeah.
modern music sounds like. Every Cardi B song... All that shit, it's all the
Because
same
you can
beat.
add it into anything,
Yeah.
and it will change.
And it spruces it
it'll
up.
stay.
It
like,
makes it's more attention grabbing.
like you can have a slower song with that, and it sounds somber.
So are
and
we
you can
going to do
have
a
something-
trap song? Is that for the show?
Hey, fuck!
sure.
Next week, let's do a trap song.
All right.
Let's do it.
You heard it
Let's
here.
do it.
All right.
Well, we're gonna jump in to our first break here. We're gonna be featuring a band from Philadelphia. Once again, last week we featured Space Donkey and the Moon Bouncers, which I'm just gonna keep saying because it's my favorite. Right, Cobb? Come on. How
never
great
heard of
is
them.
that? Oh, nobody has except people
Except
in Philadelphia, us, and some other people. They're phenomenal. Really weird. They had a song called "Fuck That Shit."
It was a really funky.
fucking hilarious song. It was very entertaining, but I just really want to bring them back up because the name.
Wheeler Walker like?
No, they're funk.
No, they're like funk. Yeah, they're more.
No,
on the
I mean
funk
in the
level.
funny type.
Yeah, kind of like I went
Sort
to the
of.
store. They didn't have asparagus. Yo, fuck that shit.
Lost
And then-
$100
okay, yeah,
last week.
Yeah, it's all over the place and it's very entertaining.
Has anyone finished this yet?
But I just took my
No.
third sip out of it.
No.
Actually, I
I'm
just
done
took my
with it.
third sip already.
I'm drinking the whole
All right.
man.
All right. So again, this week we are featuring from Philly Green. It's a song called "Walking Distance." It's off of their debut EP that's called "This Is What I Moved Here For." It's streaming right now on all major music platforms. And if you like what you hear, on April 23rd, they're going to be playing at the Pharmacy in Philadelphia, and then on April 25th, they'll be at the Barbary in Philadelphia as well.
The Barbary's a fun place.
Oh, fuck, yes, it is. They are found on social media. You can check them out at Philly Green Band on Instagram and other social media sites. But this song, once again, is called "Walking Distance." Justin, you know how long this one's running?
I have no idea.
All right. Well, this is "Walking Distance." We'll be back in a couple of minutes to discuss our Brunch Weekly original single. And eventually we are going to talk to Mr. Swan, Jason Cobb, about his wonderful habits.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Oh.
I'm sleeping well again and talking to my friends. Still there's an itch I just can't reach. Finding a light in everything gets tiring when you can't find it in yourself. I'm searching and waiting, but I can't seem to move on. It's getting frustrating, turning the lights off when they're on. myself or anyone.
All right, guys, we are back.
I like that.
Yeah.
Fuck, yeah.
That's
So,
cool.
again, that was Walking Distance from Philly Green, again, on April 23rd at the Pharmacy in Philadelphia, and April 25th at the Barbary in Philadelphia in the year 2019. If you're listening to this in the future,
Yeah.
they've already played.
Yes.
And they are very big now, and you're welcome for us introducing you to them.
Yeah.
I like to take credit where credit is due, and credit's due, so I'm giving it to myself.
Yeah.
I give it to myself all the time.
Just give it to
I
yourself,
give it.
dude.
I give it,
Give it.
to me more than I give it to anybody.
Well,
Mostly me.
That's very nice.
That's very nice, isn't it? Isn't it? You gotta,
Wonderful.
if you can't love yourself, you gotta love the hand you have. I don't know how that
true.
would go. I don't know how that would go. All right, so this week for our Brunch Weekly original single, I almost said signal there.
signal. That is
We put up a
signal.
different bat signal every single week and see who arrives. So far, nobody's been here, but one really, really angry. I don't know. He was kind of like, I think he was a dwarf, but maybe he wasn't. But I put up a dwarf thing, and he showed up, and he was real fucking pissed off, and he was like, "Stop wasting my fucking time with the light, man! Stop fucking wasting my time." He's
What did he
loud.
do?
He just kicked my shin and ran away. Just back in
But
the
I mean,
hole.
like, why would he respond to the...
I don't know, because that's his symbol, apparently. That was his signal symbol.
For what, though?
I
Dwarf
don't know.
Man!
Dwarf Man. He shows up. and he-
Man.
You'd think
Was
Dwarf
it-
Man. It'd be like
Lord of the
Ant-Man.
Rings dwarf?
Oh, yeah.
Like
It was
axe and all?
Gimli. It was like a Gimli style, yeah. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, it was just Richard. It was just Richard. All right, so this week we wrote... it is fucked. I love you, Richard. We wrote a song that originally the attempt was we were going to write a song in the vein of Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
We're going to
No,
write a song...
it was song in the vein of Swan Song
Swan
record label
Song.
error.
Record label era.
Yes.
And then there is a song called Swan Song that is a B-side.
Yes.
From that time, I
From that
believe.
time. That is strictly instrumental from what I gathered from all the versions I saw. Cobb, can you confirm it's always instrumental?
Yeah, it's been a good one. And
Yeah.
you can't find it on the jukeboxes. You can't find it.
It's not on iTunes.
No.
It's like you
No.
can't. It's not
It's a
legally
deep,
a
limited
release.
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. So, damn. So, yeah, we listened a little bit to that. Zach knowing more about Zeppelin than I do. You were saying the Swan Records era. What was that for Led Zeppelin? What did that all entail?
They started their own record label. For the last 3 albums were put out on Swan Song.
All right.
Which is Physical Graffiti, Presence, and In Through the Outdoor.
Okay.
2 of my favorites right there.
Which ones are those?
Yeah, Physical Graffiti and In Through the Outdoor.
Yeah.
In Through the Outdoor.
Great
Presence
albums.
is sort of their weakest
mellow,
album out of all of...
It was soft.
I mean, my favorite Zeppelin is 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick which one is
4.
better.
Growing up, I was
It
always
depends on
partial
the
to
day.
2.
Like, it's sometimes...
Yeah.
I think 2, just I had it on vinyl growing up, so that was the one I listened to the most, and that was really my introduction to them. And I'm really not familiar with that era. More, I know more like the Ramble On, like the classic standard Led Zeppelin songs.
The first album I had was In Through the Outdoor, the last one.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that is their final album. They never released anything after. They never. Did they ever regroup after Bonham?
Nope.
Not to
Jason
record.
Bonham.
Not to
Jason Bonham. So
Right.
on tour
To
only
tour.
to tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long of a gap was that between him? I mean, because
Well,
it's
let's
his
see.
son
I'm trying
took
to
over.
see when I saw him in Philly.
Thinking like 2000s or 90s.
No, 90s.
90s. All right, so
yeah.
mid late 90s, somewhere in
Yeah.
that area. So
Mid.
the
makes
last
sense.
album was released early 80s.
79.
79. Oh,
Bonham
Jesus.
died in 80.
Okay, he died in 80. Okay. So 79 the last album. So you get to see them like 15, 16 years later. You grew up listening to, as you said earlier, Led Zeppelin, one of the biggest. Also Grateful Dead. And who was the third one he threw out there before?
Well, we were talking about Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. There you go.
yeah.
Pink Floyd was
Led
the other.
Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Grateful Dead. But yeah, Led Zeppelin, I mean,
When you finally got to see them live, how was that as a feeling for you as a fan? Was it as much as it could be without it being actually John Bonham?
oh yeah, it was a great show.
Good show?
Good show.
Fuck yeah.
7th row tickets.
Hell yeah.
Philly.
Yeah.
Besides for the fact that the guy next to us OD'd and got hauled out.
Yeah?
Damn.
It could. At least it wasn't you.
Yeah, no, we were there for the show.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. So I asked you when we spoke about you coming on the show, what kind of music you threw out. Swan Song, again, because you will get to a little bit.
You're the Swan Man.
You're the Swan Man. And again, people that don't know are wondering, why the fuck are you the Swan Man? They don't know. They don't know. People listening right now, they don't know. Unless they know you, unless they know the story and they've already looked you up. They don't know. So I'm going to keep that little suspense until we come back after this song. But you threw out Swan Song. We started going in the vein of Led Zeppelin. Zach, you get home today and you break down again what you kind of just discussed there about the Swan Records era. And you said there was a difference in the sound of that era. It was less of the let Jimmy Page just solo for 45 minutes, and there were keys and everything involved in that.
There's a lot of keys, a lot more like... I mean, that's some of their poppier like dance music stuff is on in that era.
Now,
You know, like "Fool in the Rain."
Fool in the Ring, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like that's a pop song. That's not
Carousel
even.
Ramba.
Yeah, exactly. Incredible song, but it's
Nothing
not
like the
quite.
original.
It's not that riff.
It's not Cashmere.
Edgy. Yeah,
No.
it's not that edgy.
Yeah.
Like,
Cashmere's
Was
on
with that.
Physical Graffiti.
Oh, it was Physical
Yeah.
Graffiti.
but
it
that's
was in
see,
that era.
it's all about the keys in Kashmir.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Kashmir, honestly, and this is showing how little I was exposed to Zeppelin until I was about like 15, and I like started collecting vinyl. My dad wasn't a big Zeppelin fan. I mean, he went to Woodstock and grew up in like the 60s and 70s, but Zeppelin was not a band that he gravitated towards for whatever reason. What was that?
I said that Zeppelin.
That Zeppelin, yeah. That Zeppelin?
That Zeppelin.
That's Zeppelin. But he never really introduced me to it. So the first time I ever saw Jimmy Page play at all in any way, in any forum, and the first time I ever heard the riff of Kashmir was when Puff Daddy sampled the riff of Kashmir and had Jimmy Page play it.
Do you remember
with him
the movie that was for?
I don't remember the movie, but he played it on Saturday Night Live.
John Cusack was in it.
Grosse Pointe Blank?
Nope.
No?
No.
What is it?
Godzilla.
That was for Godzilla?
That was for Godzilla.
Holy fuck. So it's 97, 98, right around there. So I'm
Godzilla.
11 years. Yeah, the Matthew Broderick Godzilla with Hank Azaria.
Yeah, I was going to say, John Cusack isn't
Matthew Broderick. Sorry, not John Cusack. The other white guy with black hair from the...
I hate that fucking movie.
You hate that movie? I love that
Godzilla?
movie. It's such a good Godzilla movie.
I have a Godzilla tattoo. I feel like
You should
have
a
more
little bit
say
of
in this this current group, and that movie is shit.
Well, I just disagree and love it.
I've just lost 2 of my friends.
2 of your friends. All right, so next week, Zach will just be writing the songs and no microphone for him. But we said we were going to do Led Zeppelin, and again, for me, my first introduction was an odd one. I was 11, 12 years old. I watched an episode of Saturday Night Live, and I went, that song's really fucking catchy, and I brought it up to my friend at school, and he went, yeah, there's Jimmy Page. Like, he watched it too. He's like, there's Jimmy Page, the guitar player from Led Zeppelin. And I went, oh, yeah, like I've heard them. And, you can throw out Stairway, and everyone's just kind of like, oh, okay, like there. Like, if you don't know Queen, you can throw out Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah. If you don't know Journey, you can throw out, you can throw out a bunch of songs for all those bands. Yeah. But my buddy Glenn, I was in like 7th, 8th grade. He introduced me to him. I was kind of like, all right. And a few years later, I buy Zeppelin 2 and actually start listening to them. But they still never kind of took like a top pedestal like band for me. I always really thoroughly enjoyed them. So that's why when you said that you wanted to do a song like them, I was like, all right. And I've been listening a lot more in the last like week or so. But I knew Zach, like for you, this is kind of your bread and butter on everything. Like this. I mean, I was since I started playing guitar, Led Zeppelin is the most important band. Yeah.
And then I play, in the cover band that I'm in.
Yeah.
We do 7 or 8 Zeppelin songs.
Fuck yeah.
And I sing all those too, which is fucking. You appreciate it more. Like I learned all the bass parts for when I was in the other band. Someone else was singing them, and then when we started this one, they're like, no, we're still going to do all these Zeppelin songs, but you're going to sing them now. I'm like, all right. Here we go.
Let's try this out.
I fucking love it, though.
Fuck yeah.
And the guitar player in my band is named Jimmy and can play every single Led Zeppelin song. He brings out the bow when we do, like, Heartbreaker and stuff.
Fuck. Like I didn't know he did that.
He's
on point.
He's the fucking top Led Zeppelin fan I've ever met in my life. He's seen them more than he's seen his own children. And he loves his children.
You gotta let me know when you guys are playing again and where.
Well, we're trying to get him booked over at the Cinder, so let's start this slow train moving up and taking up a little bit of speed.
In the summer, I hope that we can get out with me, Jim. We don't even have a name. But we know each other for so long. We've been playing for so long, like. Hopefully we can get out.
Yeah, I think the band started when Jimmy and Bruce were about 38 and Zach was -9. Yeah. Zach, I've watched you guys play, like mostly, obviously, here in the house, and
it's crazy.
It's really fucking fun to see, especially because they are guys, I mean, they're both like in their 50s or 60s, whatever it is, and they fucking have been playing this music for so goddamn long. They know it so well, and it's still like that.
I mean, they've both been ripping it since they could rip it. You know?
Yeah.
And I hope to be at that level one day. You know what I mean? When I'm in my 50s, and I'm still like, I can still go out and fucking, slay it all night.
Fuck yeah. Now we've established how much you specifically are invested in the band of Led Zeppelin. How much do you think this song, at the end of what we did, sounds at all like a Led Zeppelin song?
You know what? It sounds like a Whitesnake song.
It does.
And Whitesnake just wanted to be Led Zeppelin, so I think that
we nailed it there.
That's what happens.
You did a good job.
When you try to write a Led Zeppelin song,
thank you.
You end up becoming Whitesnake.
When you attempt to.
It's totally Whitesnake.
So how much better would we have to have done to write a Greta Van Fleet song?
No. It's not a Whitesnake song because Led Zeppelin existed way before Whitesnake.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm saying it's
we're
like
imitating Led Zeppelin, so we sound like another imitation.
Yeah, we
of
sound
Led
like
Zeppelin
another imitation
in that weird way.
Yeah.
Now, we all it
totally
really
is my
falls
fault, dude.
solely on the three of our shoulders.
And I did try to go for all day. I was thinking like, if we do like early Zeppelin, I just write a killer riff. We turn the amps all the way up.
Yeah,
and we just
why didn't you?
Because
we had to do Swan.
I wanted to. This is me being very particular.
Yes.
Because we've written now. You said this is 18.
18.
Yeah. This is the 18th song we've written in this same manner, in the same like.
Where we just decide what it's going to be that day or a day or two before.
The most fun part for me
hours.
is the challenge of like limiting myself to like something like to be like this is what we're doing, like, and I make up all the rules and the limits to it.
No, it was
we put ourselves in a box. We put ourselves in a box, and we have to create.
I put myself in the Swan Song era albums, Led Zeppelin song, and when it came out sounding like White Snake, at first I was like upset. I was like, it's like I really didn't do justice to my favorite band, and then I'm like,
it makes sense.
Like the way it all came out and it feels now, I feel.
I mean, more the culmination of
all
of those albums too.
Yeah.
So like, it's inspiration of 3 albums, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So
so we wrote the culmination of those, which
3
is
songs.
Which is White Snake.
Yeah. Yes,
now,
you're right.
Justin, early on in the recording process, Jack. Hey, Jack.
Hey, I'm Jack now.
Zach wrote and recorded the guitar part, the bassist, and then you jumped in to do the drums, and I told you, hey, man, hey, listen, John Bonham is the greatest drummer of all time, of all, like, timelines that have existed. He is the best, so good luck, don't fuck this up. But then remember that I have to try to sing like Robert Plant later. So fuck me on this as well. So for the challenge, again, Jack over here, he had the easy challenge of writing an entire song that sounds like the greatest band of all time and playing like one of the greatest guitar players of all time. He had it easy. You had Bonham. What was your approach there?
Well, I knew my skill set's not as good. I would love another crack at it in a different style.
All right.
Adding triplets, like shit that he's known for, like getting a shot for, like that inspiration. But I need to practice it.
Fuck yeah.
So I figured just make sure that it fits the song. You know what I mean? Like, don't do anything that's too crazy, but make sure it would be something that he may do as a good drummer fitting in with the band.
Well, that was while you were recording. Zach and I were. I'm sorry, Jack. Jack and I here were talking, and I said the thing I always loved about Bonham is, and the thing I like about most of the drummers that I gravitate towards, they are simplistic in their roots. They are not trying to go out there and create something that's overly technical or anything like that, and then it comes down to the feel, and they play off of every other member of the band.
Exactly.
And you can hear it a lot in with his accent hits, the little ghost notes that he drops in there, but then the bell hits on a lot of songs. They just happen to hit right at the exact same time, and you know that stems from him being in the room practicing with Jimmy for hours and John and hours and hours and figuring out where it hits. And it reminded me a little bit, and I brought it up to okay, I'll call you Zach. To Zach. It kind of in the way that when I was younger and I heard Travis Barker for the first time, I was like, well, this guy like is a punk drummer, but then he's finding little weird ways to add little accents that just differentiate. And I get what you're saying. If we did a different era song or different song, you could throw kind of the triplets and the little like hits in there. As far as the vocals go for this, like just fuck me on the whole attempt. But I watched a video where they were showing you like how Robert Plant like places his tongue in his mouth so you can like mimic everything. I'm like, there's no fucking mimicking it. It's another one of those voices that like unless you are the lead singer of Greta Van Fleet, you can't mimic this shit.
Train did it.
Train did. They did an entire album.
They actually did it very well.
They did. That
to the
was
point
shocking.
that I said, why would you buy this? I would rather just listen to the album because it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Like,
but it's impressive.
Spruce it up a little
I'm
bit.
not taking anything away from it. But at
to
that
be able
point,
to recreate
But why does
note for
Train
note.
suck? Why is Train such horrible shit when they could
Now,
note for note
Zach-
replicate a Led Zeppelin
Zach
album?
is forgetting that they also wrote Drops of Jupiter
Oh.
here. He's forgetting that they wrote
It's so
Drops.
catchy, and I know every word to it.
It's his
and
favorite
I sing
song.
along when it comes on the radio. I can't help myself.
What about Hey Soul Sister?
Oh, hey, so fuck.
Fuck, right?
Right? It's so maybe they are a good band.
They're a great band. They're a great band.
All right, Train.
All right.
Train. If you're listening, I'm sorry. You're
we're
great.
sorry. We're sorry. We apologize.
And we'll do a Train song.
And then you can run a train on us. So the lyrics of this song, what I was trying to attempt to do was kind of write a theme song for Jason over here. It was going to be a song kind of for him. And so lyrically, I'll start to allude more as to who Jason is and why he is here. I started writing a song that's just about hunting.
Yeah.
And I realized very shortly in that writing lyrics about hunting sound the same as if you were writing vague lyrics about trying to snag some poontang at the bar or something like that. So it fucking works in the double entendre the way I did not expect last week to work. I kind of went and like dove into it a little bit more here. But we are, we're gonna play our Brunch Weekly original single. Zach, how long did this one wind up?
5 minutes.
So 5 minutes. So we're not breaking any records this week. We're sitting there right in that nice 5-minute spot. What did we call this song?
Hot broth.
Hot broth. At first, I thought I couldn't see it all, and I thought it said Hot Brother, and I was just like, "What the fuck did you name this song?" Oh, dear Jesus.
No, I was thinking about Swanson broth.
Swanson broth. All right.
And then hot broth sort of fit with the lyrics.
All right.
Maybe. I
Maybe.
wasn't really listening.
Me neither. Me neither. All right. So here is our weekly single, Hot Broth, in the vein of Led Zeppelin / Whitesnake.
Yeah.
So we'll be back in about 5 minutes plus with Mr. Jason J-Man, J Swan Cobb.
All right.
We'll see you shortly.
I'm locked and loaded out for the hunt. Got my pup and soul. Spelled my tongue.
A little fade out there. A little fade out to that one. Why'd you go with the fade out, huh? Why was that option made?
Well, because I didn't know what to do at the end, and I thought it'd be cool to like just rip it at the end there, and then have it fade out to feel like the audience fades out.
Okay.
And the song is still going.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like it's basic. Like that's what I was talking to Justin about. Like most Zeppelin songs, regardless of the era, have 2 or 3 parts.
Yeah.
And they bounce back this one, that one, this one, that one, and they just fucking like it's not overly complicated in structure. It's like we're gonna do this one for a while, we'll do that part for a while, we'll do this, like, you know. So
yeah, I mean, and like we were saying with the drumming, a lot of it is on feel, so it feels like oh, it's just naturally we should go back to this part.
Yeah,
right
it just feels like a jam.
The
so
dynamic works.
You know,
in that
I
way.
like when a song fades out while everything is going. You know what I mean? The song faded out. I'm soloing. You're singing the hook. Everything is going on at once.
Go out on top.
And then, you know, it's
Rock
like
and fucking
the song
roll.
is still going on. That, you know, it's still being played out there in the ether. The listener
It's kind of
pulled
the
away
happily
from it.
ever after way out of
a song.
song. In old stories and fairy tales, when they couldn't figure a way to end, they just said, they lived happily ever after.
Yeah,
this
it's
song,
that.
you don't know where it ends. And then what I always liked about fade out songs for bands that I grew up listening to, there weren't so many like punk bands or ska bands or anything that would do that. But other like rock bands, when I would see either them actually live or see them videos of them live, it was always, oh wait, where the fuck do you end that? Like, where do you actually end that song? Like, it's a fade out song where you go on repeat, and it's usually just you repeat and then you boom, 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 and just like big end to it, and everyone just keeps rocking out because the whole idea is you end up at the top. You end at the top. Like a fucking awesome mixtape.
I'm happy with that jam right there.
That sound fucking awesome.
We got a new drum sound going. I think the drums are kicking.
Yeah.
And once again, a big thank you to Mr. James Litz for the wonderful use of his...
Paul, you're the best, James.
Beautiful,
you really are.
beautiful.
And he tuned up my Les Paul, which is like the Jimmy Page guitar.
Yes, it
Even
is.
though in the studio it wasn't the Jimmy Page guitar as much, but that's another discussion.
Oh.
On stage, it was the Jimmy Page guitar. That's what he played. He played Les Pauls.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Now, Cobb, as a lifelong fan of Zeppelin, what's your opinion on the song? Like it?
I did.
It works?
Yeah.
It works. It's... Now, will you hunt with that in your ears? Or do you need silence?
Well, you know, I prefer to be quiet.
You prefer to be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't bring the boombox on.
You don't bring it.
You
You don't see many animals
You
when
don't
you're
have your
blasting
AirPods
tunes.
in. You don't have your AirPods in while you're hunting.
No, but they, you know, I should have ear protection. Maybe I could put a pair of earbuds in and
Earbuds
be jamming
and
out to
then,
that shit while I'm killing.
You could. You could.
I could.
You could. Now, all right. So again, this week, very special episode. We have Jason Cobb in the house. We've been calling him J Swan, the Swan Man. I think I called him J Man before we went to break because that's a new one. That's a new one I just read there. J Man, what's up? What's up? Yeah. So for people that are from our area, they might recognize your name. People from outside the area could as well if they've already done a Google search. But you are oddly a very infamous person in the Poconos. And I don't know exactly how long, I'll ask you this right off the bat, how long it's been going on, but I've known you for the last 6 months or so, and maybe the last year even, and since I've met you, I've known of the controversy around you that is, you're the guy that hunts swans. Yeah. Those beautiful, majestic creatures. Yeah. You're that asshole. You're that guy.
Yeah.
Like, oh my. And the first time I met you and realized who you were, I literally just saw something on Facebook yesterday about this. People bitching and moaning. And my immediate reaction was, well, if they're anything like geese, fuck swans. Yeah, like, real. Fuck swans.
Well, they're like geese times 10.
Geese times 10. Now, before we get into that,
don't they? Goose and swan hate each other.
They hate. They go to town on each other. Will they fight?
They'll get along most of the year until they breed. Then
until the breeding.
Then the swans will.
Okay.
They'll be dominant. The swan will be dominant over that. All right. Now, you're a local guy. You're here from the Poconos. Are you born and raised in the area?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, knowing that, you've been hunting since what age?
Good question. Probably about 9, 10,
9.
11,
All right, so
12, you know.
Right in that area? Damn. All right, so when you were growing up and you were hunting, what were the first types of hunts you were going on? What were you going after? Was it mostly deer, squirrel?
Deer, squirrel.
Rabbit, anything like that?
Small game.
Small game.
Yep.
Now, at what point in your hunting life did the option of, or the idea of hunting swan come to you?
About 2.5 years ago, we were goose hunting, and we saw swans on the Delaware River. So, knowing that they were mule swans and that they were legal game, we decided we were going to go ahead and shoot them.
Okay.
So, probably for the last 2.5 years, and after that first group that I shot, I did a lot of research on them and figured out, okay, they're actually an invasive species.
Okay.
They don't belong here.
Okay.
They ruin our ecosystem, and quite frankly, as we'll find out tonight, they taste good.
All right. Now,
So-
you say, and I've heard you say in the past, and I've never actually asked you this, they are an invasive species.
Correct.
They don't belong here. Do you know where they do belong? Is there any spot that they are indigenous to? Because I'm assuming they were brought here because they were pretty.
Right.
And then
Probably,
somebody had a wedding and left a couple out, and then one thing leads to another, and it's not Florida with snakes, but I mean, you're not flushing them down the toilet and getting anacondas showing up in your backyard.
Those
you
giant
know?
rats down there.
Oh yeah, giant rats. But they what was? Do you know in your vast knowledge of the species where they originated from, where they came from, or why we have them here now?
So they came from Eurasia and northern Africa, and they were brought here as ornamental pets.
Okay.
And the philosophy
Makes sense.
was that they would keep the geese away from the ponds. And they will when they're breeding, but the rest of the year they don't really, they commingle pretty good. So
Okay.
people put them on ponds, they bred, they had young, the young flew off, and now we've got a population of them that the ecosystem can't sustain. And there is no closed season on hunting them because they're considered non-native. They don't belong here. They're not protected under the Federal Migratory Bird Act.
And a lot of the things when you can't hunt something, it is because, or when you can't remove something from its natural habitat, it is because it is part of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
If
Correct.
you go and you shoot down all of the deer, if you shoot down all of the squirrel, you are fucking up a
I'm
chain
just
of
picturing
life.
deer flying overhead, and
Right?
just shooting down.
Shooting down fucking
Those are reindeer.
Those are reindeer.
Yeah, either way.
And their season's only open for about 12 hours. Santa jokes. So what was your introduction to swans? What brought them? I mean, you said you saw them on the Delaware.
Yep.
And you said you shot down kind of like a group of them. How many did you get the first time?
We got 2 of them.
2 of them. And was there any negative reaction right off the bat when you got those 2?
No.
Nobody knew. You hunted them. It was legal. It was fine.
Correct.
You took them, and it would be like if you had shot a goose, nobody would have given a shit about it.
Correct.
All right. So when did it become a regular? I don't want to say hobby. I alluded earlier and said habits. But when did it become a regular thing that you said 2.5 years ago it started? When did you solidly go, let's fucking hunt some swan?
Well,
After the research?
After the research, after I realized, after that first pair that we shot, and only from looking at the book that the Game Commission gives you when you buy your hunting license,
Okay.
did I realize they were legal to shoot. So we shot on the first time, and it sparked my curiosity. I'm like, all right, let's look into this. So they're not good for our environment, and there's an open season on them all the time, and they taste really good. So I came to the mindset that, all right, well, when I'm out goose hunting or duck hunting, if I see them,
Yeah.
then I'm actually doing a
Fair
good
game.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And, you know,
Now, as far as outside of the swans, the goose, and the duck, what is their season like? What is, for people that don't know and aren't aware, what is the time frame during the year that you're able to shoot a goose or shoot a duck?
well, it varies. It's between September and you know, the end of January, end of February for goose.
Okay.
There's a 60-day duck season. There's a different early season for goose and a later season for goose, and the duck season varies.
Are the seasons based upon in any way like their actual like their mating times and everything along those lines? So you're not shooting a pregnant duck or something along those lines?
Well, it's based on their migration, so it gives a fair balance of hunters being able to harvest the species without hunting them during the wrong time. So they give you so much time, and then the season's over, and if you know, the geese right now are starting to mate and get on their nest, you're not having geese getting shot while they're pregnant.
Fuck it.
I feel like most people who don't hunt don't realize. They think, oh, you just go out in the woods and you just murder a bunch of shit. Like, no, there's like the seasons are all set up so scientifically. Everything, you know what I mean? Everything is done right. The reason that, you know, the national parks and forests, they're funded by shit like buying a hunting license.
Yeah,
sure.
You know,
buying a duck stamp.
People don't realize that hunting is not bad for the environment.
Well,
No, if you didn't hunt deer, they
hunting
would just
is good
overrun
for the
everything.
environment.
Like, realistically, there's a reason why we do it, to keep...
control numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bunch of bloodthirsty guys just going out and
I mean, you do
blowing
run those
away whatever
assholes,
they
dude.
see.
Hey, now once in a while,
There's assholes in every group.
Exactly.
Though,
Sure.
no matter what
it's
you're
different. What you
it's
do.
different than some rich dude paying money for some
To go
guy to
fucking
open up a cage, shoot it,
hunt
and
a
then
tiger or a rhino or
like
something.
that.
Yeah.
That's fucking bad.
And
like, don't
on
do that shit.
on that side, most species that are protected because they aren't procreating in the fashion that they need to, or they're being killed off quicker than they can procreate. The swans, they're not having any trouble, right? Like,
they're not protected under federal law. They're not protected under the Migratory Bird Act. They're not a native species. So, what ends up happening is they breed, they create more, they eliminate natural habitat such as aquatic. A male swan, an adult swan, will eat 8 pounds of vegetation a day.
Jesus Christ.
That vegetation out of the water is habitat for fish, food for other microorganisms.
And it's not necessarily what they were eating in their native land either.
Well, correct. And so our native species can't sustain the loss of habitat, and they do chase away native species. They do kill baby ducks. They do impact the area in a negative way for what should be here.
Yes,
Yeah.
Rich.
And that's why they're considered an invasive species.
All right. Now, what when you go hunting for the swan, when you were first hunting, I mean, duck or geese or anything, is it as far as the approach of actually like what firearm you're using? Is that kind of the same feel? Are you using the same? As you'll learn very quickly into this question, I'm not a gun guy at all.
Okay.
You today have shot a gun probably, or thought about shooting a gun more than I have in my life, which is about like 12 times. So what was your what is the hunter's weapon of choice when it comes to swan? Is there anything specific that you use? Have you ever tried like outside of firearm using like bow for them or no?
Okay, so I've used a 12-gauge shotgun most of the time.
Okay.
Other situations at longer distances, 17 HMR rifle.
Okay.
I have thought about doing a crossbow.
A crossbow. Okay.
The only problem with the crossbow is if the arrow doesn't go through the bird and it sticks in the bird, the dog that has to retrieve the bird out of the water for me may be in danger. So I've been a little bit leery of that.
Yeah.
But normally on a bird like that, the arrow would go through and through, no problem.
Okay.
So, I mean...
And then you just brought it up. You have your dogs with you.
Yep.
How many and what breed of dog do you use?
So I have a couple Labrador Retrievers, and one of them's trained to do waterfowl, and the other one is in training now with Great Lakes Retrievers out in Michigan. And the one that I have now retrieves duck, goose, swan. He'll pheasant hunt. He'll small game hunt. You know, pretty much anything we do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
My brother has that. My brother has an English pointer.
Oh, that's a good breed.
He's a pheasant dog. That
Yep.
pheasant,
Dog is
dove,
wild,
Yep.
man.
stuff like
Quail,
that's what we mostly
woodcock.
do with him. Yeah.
Yep.
And he's
Wild, dude. It has so much energy.
well, yeah. You
Fucking
got
crazy.
that's a breed of dog you really gotta run
Yeah.
all the.
Well, you know
he
what?
runs
If you
that dog.
like to hunt and you hunt over a dog for the first time in your life, and you watch that dog work, find that bird, flush that bird, retrieve that bird. It's an experience that I can't even describe.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
guys are going to
incredible,
be
yeah.
like, wow, you love to hunt and you love to eat the animal, but then you watched another animal that was trained and bred to do that kind of work and retrieval, and it's like full circle. You're just
Yeah.
like,
Hell yeah.
you know what, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck
No, it's
yeah.
it's great going out with the dog. I love that.
Now, with the hunting, obviously there's been backlash for you.
Sure.
When 2.5 years ago you started doing the hunting of swan, how far into you hunting did it become a public issue?
January 19th, 2017,
So just over 2 years ago.
when I shot the swan on Lake Valhalla.
Okay.
And it created quite a public uproar.
Now describe from your point of view. I mean, the whole act of you actually doing the hunting. What was the permission given, and then what was the time frame between you actually taking down the bird and then dealing with the public outcry?
I was given permission to hunt on private property on the opposite side of the lake, where I shot a swan in flight that came off of the lake, and the people that lived in the development of the lake thought that was their pet because they had fed it,
Okay.
even though it's a
Gotcha.
Yes.
a bird that can get up and fly wherever it wants to fly.
And it'll
it's-
find food, no problem.
Sure.
Again, 8 pounds of vegetation a day.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
a different story. I mean, that lake is deprived of all nutrients now because of the swans that live on it. But the swan that flew, I shot it. People witnessed it. They were upset.
I mean, it
And-
does look like a swamp over there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
no,
it does.
it's-
It looks like a swamp. But,
Listen, 15, 20 years ago, that lake was great for bass fishing, and it had a beautiful beach. And now it just looks like a shithole full of stunted bass, and yeah, it's not good.
So you
Rich said that that swan used to attack him on his way home every day.
He said, "Good riddance." To
good
him.
riddance to him. Good riddance to him. Hell yeah.
You know what? They're nasty.
They are nasty. They are. So you were witnessed shooting it. Did anybody get it on video or anything along those lines for the first one?
No, they didn't get it on video, but they called the state police and the game commission, and everybody came out and investigated and determined that it was a lawful hunt. No laws were broken.
Okay.
But then came the death threats and the messages from people who didn't understand
Right.
what was going on.
Because now, in my cursory knowledge of the situation from talking to you at the bar, and just kind of seeing, both sides of the outcry on Facebook over the last few months, it seems that most of the people, like you said, they think that they're pets. They're like a deer that comes up to your front yard and you can feed it out of your hand. Once that deer is in open field and able to be hunted, that's not your pet. That could be hunted. Was most of the outcry, in your opinion, based on what I see, it kind of is that they're pretty creatures that people like looking at and they don't want to see them get shot.
Right.
Do you think it's more in depth than that?
What I always said was the same people that object to me shooting a swan because and it is a beautiful creature.
Oh, fuck yeah, it is.
Don't have a problem when he's shooting a goose.
True. Which
So
is just as majestic in
is
its
that
own
like-
right.
It just looks differently.
Is that like not discriminatory?
It is.
I
No,
mean,
it is.
I
Oh,
mean,
it definitely is.
the same person who might say, "Well, I don't have a problem with you shooting a goose because they're nasty and they shit on the yard," but the swan is beautiful.
It's beautiful. So we like it shitting on our yard.
Yeah.
And we like it eating all of the vegetation.
we don't mind the downside. We just
Because it's nice when I pull into my house in my car and I look out over that pond and I see that swan and I go, I can afford where I live.
So to make an analogy, it's like no one would care if they shot you, Kyle.
Yes.
But if they shot a specimen like me,
They would be like, why the
everyone
fuck?
would be very upset.
That goose over there, but Jack the Swan over here.
Yeah.
Correct.
Jack the Swan, you don't want
I'll
to shoot
just
that
double
guy.
checking and make sure that was how it was.
That's pretty
That's
fairly
spot
fairly
on.
accurate.
Spot on.
Fairly fucking accurate. Now, with your actual the hunting of it, is it a hunter's secret, or do you mind divulging your process of like actually scouting out and finding where you're going to be today to go possibly nab a bird?
Well, with my reputation, obviously, people reach out to me. So I get reports. I follow other online sources and find out where the birds are. And we are in an area where they're flying through when they migrate, because the greatest concentration of mute swans is in Long Island and eastern New York.
Okay.
So they leave New York when the waters freeze, and they fly back when the open water and breeding time comes around, and they're through this area quite a bit. So if they're spotted somewhere in Pennsylvania and it's close enough, and I feel like going out and harvesting one, sure enough.
Fuck yeah. Now, what is the farthest that you have traveled? The furthest that you have traveled to try to hunt one down?
Probably about an hour and a half.
Hour and a half?
I try to stay within an hour.
So is that based on just the travel time, or is that more based on the fact that by the time you get there, they might not be there anymore?
No, usually when they're spotted on water, they're there for a couple days or maybe a month or two before they move through, unless it's a breeding pair, and then they're there pretty much year round.
Okay.
But if it's further than an hour and a half away, I'll post the sighting on the online group that follows
and open it up,
and let somebody else go take a chance at them.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah! Now, you've gone over kind of the legality side of things. You said the first time that you hunted it on Valhalla, they called the Game Commission. They called state police. How many times have you gotten into a run-in with the Game Commission? And has there ever been a question on the legality of what you're doing that you had to actually fight?
Well, I've gotten into a circumstance where I've been investigated at least 3 times.
Okay.
I mean, Valhalla was one. I was stopped by Fish and Game one time on the Lehigh River and checked in a park where no hunting was allowed and no weapons were allowed. But under the Pennsylvania Constitution, you're allowed to open carry a weapon anywhere in the state you want, unless it's a prohibited area.
Okay.
So if it's not the city of Philadelphia or a federal building or a school or any of the prohibited areas, even if a township or borough posts a sign that says no hunting allowed and no firearms or no weapons allowed, you can lawfully carry a firearm into that area loaded.
Okay.
And then if you see a mute swan on public property, you can shoot it. And you can, it's not considered hunting, even if a municipality has an ordinance that says hunting is not allowed in that area. Local laws can't supersede state laws. So the state constitution on gun rights and possession of guns and lawful discharge of weapons supersedes any township ordinance. These townships today, they're saying, well, you can't discharge a weapon in our township. You can't hunt in our town. You can't do that. The ordinance can only lawfully say that you cannot unlawfully discharge a firearm.
Yes.
You can lawfully discharge a firearm in the Commonwealth anywhere you want within a specified area, as long as it's not restricted. And the township and county and city has no say over it.
Now, you're obviously very well versed for the state of Pennsylvania. Do you know anything about necessarily the state of New York? Because you said that they come from that area. Is there more strict laws in New York based on what can and can't be hunted in what time of year? And is that why they can gravitate to that area.
Well, you used to be able to hunt them in New York, but I think it was November 2016, Mayor Cuomo or Governor Cuomo at the time had signed a law into legislature in the state of New York prohibiting the killing, harvesting, or altering of eggs or harassment of mute swans.
Okay.
So they were once legal game there, open season, just like PA, and now they are not, and their numbers are just going to continue to increase. Yeah. So
okay,
we're going to see more here.
And they're and that's what I was going to get to. They're going to then, because the population will grow there, it's going to come through here because that's their migration path.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're one of only 3 states, I believe, in the nation that allows mute swan
year round or
no, at all.
At all.
Now, so New Jersey passed laws protecting them. New York passed laws. Other states have their their different
states with nice gardens really want their fucking swans in their fucking lakes.
Well, listen, if there was only 1 or 2 and they look beautiful, and it's one thing, but every year that breeding pair is going to have 3 youth, and then those youth are called cygnets, and in the fall they'll grow up, and then in the winter and spring, like February, when the adults decide to breed again, they'll chase them off the pond.
Okay.
So now they're going to fly somewhere else.
Yeah.
On your pond that you don't want them on, start shitting on your lawn.
Yeah.
Start killing your dogs.
Wait, we already established this. Their shit's prettier. They're white.
Well, they got rainbow sparkles in it or something?
They got rainbow sparkles, and I'm pretty sure cotton candy comes out of their ass.
They do.
I'm 90% sure about that. I'm not a doctor or I was going to say ornithologist, but I don't think that really works here. But I'm definitely not an ornithologist.
I am
I'm an aspiring ornithologist.
You are a beer doctor.
I do want to talk about this beer.
Oh, right.
I've been
Jason,
sipping on.
You brought this? I've not taken a sip.
Take a sip. This shit's good.
Let's
good.
try this out.
Like
so this is Lagunitas, which is one of my favorite breweries. When I was out in California, I drank a little something all the time. I love a good Lagunitas. So this is the Dark Swan Sour Ale. Now, I'll be honest with you. I am not a fan of sours in any way. I think cranberry juice is about as sour as I ever want to go.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of.
But this,
like that at the end has a very.
You've already taken a couple sips there.
Yeah.
Now, what we're saying, this is 7%, 7.9, something like that.
7.6, 7.8,
7.8, somewhere around
I'm drunk
there.
already tonight.
You are.
I can't read this anymore.
Now, most sours are in like the 3-4% range because they are heavy in that sour flavor. They're not super.
This isn't that sour.
This isn't that type of sour. So I'm gonna take my first sip
more
here.
Sweet.
The Dark Swan
it's sweet and bitter.
Sour ale.
Sweet and
bitter
bitter.
like cranberry. You know what I mean?
I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
I do too, Zach.
Oh God, no! That.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan now.
That's almost like
you're getting a beer and then you get this bitter.
It's made with a red grape. That's.
And you said that this was the Lagunitas that made the sparkling.
Yeah, they made the sparkling Swan. I haven't seen that around in a little bit.
It's probably a seasonal thing.
Limited release seasonal. Yeah.
Well, even this one here, this is from their one-hitter series.
Yeah.
Their one-hitter series, which I can enjoy that name as much as anybody else can.
Mm-hmm.
Now, God, yeah, that is tart, but that has a fucking beer taste to it.
Yeah, yeah.
The first time I ever had a tart beer, and the first and only time I've ever had a beer from Weyerbacher that I did not enjoy, I went to Flood's, and as Justin and I have become used to doing, you just go, give me a beer, give me a weird beer, give me something different, give me something I haven't had.
Style.
That's what I like about Floods.
It's so good
the
for
open cases in the front of the bar. Give me a spot and lager. Give me something different.
Yeah, just give me something I wouldn't ask for. I'm not asking for it. Give it to me.
I don't even want to look at the menu because I know there's so much beer here. Just hand me a beer.
If I don't like it, I'm still paying for it, and I'm just gonna put it in front of you and go, that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But if you like
on
it,
to the next one. And if I like it,
find a beer.
That is 90% of the way I find beer I enjoy. The first time I ever had a tart, I went into Floods and did that. I said, hey, give me a beer. And Drew comes out and he goes, oh, I got this one. He goes, this is a new one. And I was like, all right, sweet. He goes, it's from Weyerbacher. And I'm like, they're my favorite fucking brewery. I love it.
Yeah.
And he hands it to me and it just says tart, Tarte, period. And I went, all right, cool. pours it in. He goes, "You want a glass?" I'm like, "Of course, I want a gay glass." Pours it into the gay glass for me, and he pours it into the gay glass for me, and I take a sip, and I go, "What the fuck is this?" I'm like, "This fucking god! It tastes like pure fucking sour mix." Like, I don't know why anybody would want to be sipping on this. This is god fucking awful. And then a couple months later, I was at Yard, and they had Yard's Pink, which is a cranberry
Yards.
Yeah. And it's a very light sour. It's not a very heavy sour.
Right.
I like
but
that
it
one.
tasted more like beer. And that's why I kind of like it. So I can get behind this. This honestly...
I tend to go for more.
Wait, was
Gozes.
that Yards or Trogs? Who had the pink?
Oh, no, it's Yards Pink.
It was Yards, yeah.
P-Y-N-K.
Yeah, no. Love it.
But yeah,
But yeah, there is an actual fucking...
Gozes.
Yeah, Gozes.
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 I could get into it.
Oh, but yeah, no, this tastes like beer with a little bit of cranberry in it, so I can definitely get behind the fucking feeling.
You do want to
there.
drink more.
Really, it really keeps making you want to take a sip. So we've gone over the legality and everything like that, and you've kind of hinted at and discussed a little bit on the reactions that you've gotten from people.
Sure.
There have been threats
Well, you
on
said
lives.
also to your animals, right?
Yes. So what?
Like that's
Oh
crazy.
yeah. I've had
Like,
two
that's a
different
crazy
guys say, "How would you like it if I came and shot your dog?" Because that makes it all right.
Yes. Yes. That is.
I didn't realize there was a season on dogs.
Is there?
No, there is none.
No season on dogs.
No, and
sorry.
and as I responded to one gentleman, I said, "If you so much as touch one hair on my dog, I'm not responsible for skinning you alive."
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Like you told me, you treat you treat them like fucking kin. You treat them like
It's not
they're
like
your
you went
fucking
and
kids.
shot somebody's
Absolutely.
pet that they had in their
Those
house.
dogs are not only your pets, but they are part of your workforce there.
Yeah, they're not pets; they're family.
They're family. Yeah, that's fucking the way it should be on that. And so you've gotten threats on your dogs' lives. Have you ever gotten anything directly on you? Anybody that has threatened you directly, either social media or through anything along those lines?
God, I couldn't count how many times.
What do you think is the reason? I know we went over before that it's... Do you think it's because people just don't know, they don't understand, they're getting in an uproar over something? Or do you think they genuinely love swans?
I think it's people who don't understand. They're not fully informed. They're so irate that something beautiful was shot that they're willing to basically say it's okay to launch an attack of hatred on someone else just because we don't agree with that.
Yeah.
And that, like I'm open to... I
blame
listen.
PETA too, Rich.
Yeah, he says, I blame
I mean,
PETA. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Now, on the
completely.
positive side of things, it has garnered you attention in the world of hunting. It has garnered you attention in people that are law-abiding citizens that know that, I want to go out, I want to try to maybe go after something different. And if this is an invasive species, like you said before, I'm doing something good here for the environment. This is, if you really think about it, it's kind of a leftist movement in that way. You're doing something good for the environment.
Yeah.
You're trying to help out
absolutely.
the environment in a natural fucking way.
Yeah,
like that is the right way to go about these things. So what would you say is the highest praise that you've garnered from your endeavors here?
Well, besides from meeting a lot of different people from all over the country, really, who have reached out to me and talked about how they wanted to do it, and they would love to come here to our state and do it one day because it's legal. We've had some support from
That also helps the economy.
Yeah.
Uncle Ted Nugent.
Yeah, that's right. You did tell me about that.
He reached out and posted on the one Facebook post that included the Swan shooting. I don't remember which one it was. It was one that created quite a bit of controversy. And he said, "Hey, man, nice shot."
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah,
And
dude. Uncle
Could you
Ted's
have,
gave
if
it
you
the,
could have picked a person to have said, "Hey man, nice shot," could you have picked a better person than Nugent?
Not the Nugent. Close second would have been like Jim Shockey or Eva Shockey.
All right.
Like those type of people that, like, Eva Shockey's whole slogan is "Don't apologize." don't apologize for doing what you know is right and people don't agree with.
Fuck yeah.
Why do you give in to what people think?
Yeah.
We're all in this world to do what we know is right, and if you gave in every time someone said, I don't agree with you, even though you knew you in your heart you were right,
Yeah.
where would we be?
Exactly. And in hindsight, that makes me really happy as to the lyrics that I wrote for the chorus was, oh mama, I'm not sorry, oh sweet Jesus, no apologies.
No apologies.
No apologies.
No apologies.
Fuck it. You are not doing anything that is legally wrong, that is morally wrong.
you're
If
right.
anything,
You're
you
helping the
are
economy.
helping and you are assisting. Now, one big thing that I think everybody that is not a hunter, and Zach kind of talked a little bit about it before, people
Real
think
quick.
that you're just going out into the woods and just fucking hunting like an asshole. Real quick.
Rich said that he's thought about getting into hunting just to know where his meat was coming from.
Yeah. Well, now
Yeah.
this kind of ties in there a little
Pretty
bit.
much all natural as best as you can get.
We got a freezer full of deer meat here,
Yeah.
Fuck
and
yeah.
hands down, that shit is better than
Amazing.
any shit you buy at the fucking store.
It
I'd
is.
rather eat that
It
any
is.
day of the
There's-
week.
100%.
If people want to get worried about the GMOs and the things that are going into their food, the things that are going into the byproducts that are going into the food that you're feeding your children to make them fucking sprout man tits at the age of 12,
Soy boys.
soy boys, you might be more in favor of going after something that was locally sourced, locally
Yes.
grown, locally fucking killed. Now, for you, and what I was going to say for what Zach kind of like led on to, the anger people get is like, oh, you're shooting something pretty, blah, blah, blah. You're just an angry guy going out into the fucking woods and you're shooting something just to shoot something. But the side of things that people forget is that most people that do hunting aren't doing it for sport. They aren't doing it necessarily for the trophy on their wall. They're doing it because I can go out this morning, spend a few hours of my own time, my valuable personal time, and I can, in that time, do something that might be cathartic, might be a game in some way, but is putting food on the table or is doing something to further my personal, my family, anything along those lines. I am providing in that way. What do you use the swans for? After you got into shooting them, knowing that they were pests, what did you use the actual all of the parts? What did you use all the parts for?
Well, so with any game, first I want to say that I haven't bought meat at the store in years, other than lunch meat.
Okay.
So anything I make is either out of venison or pheasant or turkey or deer or goose or duck or swan. We self-sustain, and that is a good thing.
Yeah.
The swan itself, the meat that you get off it is more like beef, less like duck and goose. And you get a good sized chunk of meat off each breast, and however you want to prepare, that's your own choice. I brought some goose jerky tonight, so you guys
Some
can try
goose
it.
jerky.
Or swan jerky.
Oh, I was gonna say you're not pulling one on us,
No,
are you?
no.
Oh, this motherfucker's gonna make us eat goose.
Goose.
I don't eat
no.
those
Goose
dirty
dish?
motherfuckers.
No, but the same thing with the goose. I mean,
Yeah.
we either make it into jerky, smoke it, prepare it in different ways, but everything gets used. Feathers get used to tie flies to go fishing with.
Hell yeah.
Wing feathers are kept for ornamental use, or if you wanted a really nice fountain pen, I could hook you up.
Fuck yeah, I need a
Yeah.
quill here and there. I
So,
do need a quill.
But
once in
other
a while.
than that, I mean, it's the meat gets utilized, and that's the most important part.
Now,
I'm not just out killing them for trophy hunting. It's,
have you stuffed any and had them set as a trophy in that way?
I did have one actually done in a full mount after the taxidermist removed the meat, and we still were able to utilize the meat out of the bird.
Oh yeah.
But I did have one fully
Was that a
mounted.
special one for you? Was that a specific
That
bird?
that was the one from Lake Valhalla.
Lake Valhalla. So, the one that
Yeah.
used to attack Richard, our buddy in the chat here.
Richard, I got that shit mounted at my house if you,
can
want to
come
see
say
it.
Hi.
Yep.
Come say hi. Now, is it mounted enough that he can give it a good kick in the balls, just at a good measure?
Well, he's in a swimming pose, so his nuts are completely concealed, but
Fuck yeah! So you've got one of them. I remember you were telling me that you had that
You got
one
a nice.
stuffed, and I was thinking you should get one in the evilest pose, like the attack pose, like the wings up, the tongue out.
Yeah.
That would be the greatest bit of taxidermy ever, to get like an evil looking fucking swan.
Hell yeah.
Taxidermy like that. And honestly, you could go to fucking metal shows with that thing and you just put it behind the drummer and just be like, what the fuck? Put a black light on it and just different shit. It's white.
Be
It's
like
gonna
Black
glow.
Swan.
Black Swan.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, Dark Swan.
Dark Swan. Black Swan.
There is a
That's
Black
a
Swan.
movie.
That's that movie with the lesbian stuff.
That's a movie with the lesbian stuff, which is a whole different show. Movies with lesbian stuff is a different show. We'll do that with our trap
I'm
music.
a Natalie Portman fan.
Can I
for
come
sure.
back for that one?
You can
Yes.
definitely.
Okay.
It's going to be all of us just sitting here quietly watching lesbian stuff happen. Now, you've made a group on Facebook.
Yep.
And what is and while I ask this question, get ready. If you want to start getting that jerky ready for us,
Absolutely.
you started a group on Facebook and you've got over a couple hundred followers already.
I think like almost 400.
Almost 400 followers, which, to put it into some perspective, we have been a podcast for a year, and I think we're less than that. Yeah, we're like 130 something.
Okay.
So
need more followers.
2 months.
people are thoroughly enjoying what you do, and
By the way, if any of his
this
followers
smells
end up
good.
listening,
Yeah, hold on.
welcome.
welcome to all of the wonderful hunters of the Swan. Now, what was the... Okay, let's jump
All right.
into the jerky right here. What was the process for the jerky? Obviously, you dry it out and everything, but
This is the regular
All right, so
non-spicy.
what I will do with the swan is I will hang it for a couple of days and dry age the meat.
Okay.
This swan was hung in controlled temperatures for about 5 days before it was butchered. Then the meat went in the fridge for a couple more days. Then it was marinated with a dry spice. Then it was marinated with a sauce, and then it was actually made into jerky.
If I didn't know, I would
It
think I'm eating
literally-
beef.
if you handed this to me,
I would have no idea.
It's just banging.
Yeah,
the
this is
flavor
really,
on that,
really good.
it is like I definitely assumed the toughness of the meat would be there. You said
Oh,
you
no.
compared it more to a red meat. It's more.
Well,
I
it is
wouldn't
red
know.
meat. And you know what? This batch
good.
turned out good.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
a very, very
This is really good.
yeah.
Oh my!
And was
dude.
that the one
So
with the
are you,
spice, or was
That was the spicier
That was
one.
the
of the
spicier
two.
one.
I have a mild
That
one.
is
Do you have a
good
smokehouse
level.
or a dehydrator?
No, I actually did this in the oven.
In the oven.
In the oven.
Damn.
Fuck.
Really?
Because the
Oh, yeah.
dehydrator tends to, dry it out a little bit too much. I would like to try it in the smoker, but
I gotta. If you want, my dad built his own smokehouse. On his back deck, he's
Yeah,
got this.
dude.
I'll show you a picture of it. It's fucking sick. He smokes everything. If you ever want to try, I could talk to him.
nope.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
You
yeah,
can come over and we could figure out.
That's why they call it the
Do
steak
some
of the lake.
smoking.
The steak of the lake.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know
Yeah.
I wasn't eating beef. If you just
Literally
said
great.
that
would
to
not
me.
It's
like
fucking
would
great.
Would have no
not
idea.
no.
It was
If you
amazing.
put this in a fucking bag
Well,
of
I gave
any
a
other
piece
jerky,
to someone tonight, and they were like, "Oh, what is that, venison jerky?" I said, "No."
chewing, trying to think.
Yeah. And then you let her know. Oh,
Yeah. No,
it's
it's Swan.
Swan.
It's Swan. Now, as
excellent.
Goes
before
real
we went
well
on
with
the
this
air, you
beer
said
as well.
it's. I mean, I think you also said here it's mostly the breast meat there.
Yeah.
The neck, you've not really tried to do anything with the meat on there. Is there much meat on the neck itself?
I'm not sure if there's that much meat on the neck. There's mostly breast meat. The legs are very muscular, not too tasty. Mostly
Yeah.
tendons, little strips of meat. I've tried the legs a couple times, haven't liked them.
Okay.
But there's a fair amount of breast meat off them.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now going back to your, and I mean that again is fucking delicious, man. Going back to your Facebook group, a couple hundred followers already. What is your hopes with the group itself? What are the plans? What are you trying to build there?
Well, the group's name is Pennsylvania Mutant Swans Unlimited. And the reason I created it was because I started to realize other guys besides for me out in the state are hunting them. And then there's guys in the country that want to come to our state to hunt them.
Okay.
And that's one thing. So people can post pictures and sightings and ask for recipes and ideas on how to mount them, but also to get people informed on what the regulations are and what the species is and how a lot of guys who like to hunt joined the group, and they said, "Oh, I never knew I could do that."
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're seeing guys say, "Oh, yeah, all right, I saw one today. I shot it. How should I cook it? How should I do this?" You know? And
I'm definitely shooting one if I see one.
Fuck.
I'm 100% after.
I might just try to strangle it.
After eating that, I can almost guarantee you if
that's exactly what happened. The first 2 I shot on the river, we ate them, and I said, "My God, if I see one of them again."
Yeah.
That's
Why would
delicious.
you waste that opportunity? Why would you waste that opportunity?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, to kind of wrap it up and everything here, what would you say if...
Wait, before you get to any wrapping up, can I try the regular?
Yeah, you want to try the regular?
I'll definitely try the regular as well.
Here, try that. That's mild. The spicy.
Okay. Cool.
Now, in being the Swan man, being the guy who knows... All right. Knows everything that you do, and one of the I mean, I don't want to toot your horn for you, but probably one of the foremost knowledgeable people on the subject, at least in our direct area. What is maybe 1 or 2 things that you wish everybody understood and wish everybody knew that maybe it makes your life a little bit easier, but maybe it would just put people at ease on the actual idea of hunting them? I mean, maybe we've already gone over it, but what would be the point to kind of drive in to people's brains on this?
Just that they don't belong here. There are swans that you see migrating through the area that are native, the trumpeter swan, the tundra swan, and those birds belong in our ecosystem, but the mute swan was brought here as a ornamental pet, and if you like to fish, if you like to look at ducks, if you like the ecosystem the way it is, you don't want them introduced into our waterways because it will adversely affect things. So, as pretty as they are to look at, if people did a little bit of research on the species and what they were doing to the environment that they're in, they might realize, hey, maybe I ought to not buy a pair of them and put them on my farm pond. Maybe, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, don't buy them because at some point they're just going to fucking show up at this rate, right? They're just going to fucking show up there anyway. And then that's when you call Jason Cobb to come over and take care of that problem.
Get yourself some swan jerky. This shit is really fucking
I gotta say, the mild version of it's still just as much fucking flavor.
Yeah.
It's still, dude, that is banging there. How do people get a hold of you? What was the name of the group again?
Pennsylvania Mute Swans Unlimited.
And that's available just on Facebook right now? On Facebook right now.
Or
Public group, private group?
It's a private group, so no one needs to know, because not everybody agrees with what we're doing. So I used to post pictures of my hunts on my personal Facebook page, and some of my friends got upset seeing it.
Sure.
So we created a private group.
How do they get into that? Do they just apply for it?
They can just go on there and ask to join, and we'll gladly accept anybody who's willing to join the group and
Hell yeah, man.
interested in just what the deal is. Ask a question.
I mean, I hope that anybody that actually listens to this, maybe who may know of you and have had other thoughts just from hearing it, because know how informed you are, and know you're not doing it for just
because social media can be such a pain in the fucking dick about things that you'll get a post, and like I said, the first thing that I ever saw was can you believe this madman? Can you believe this psychopath? All this stuff, and then you came into the bar.
Those are nice words.
And those were, and I met you, and I can believe this madman. I can believe this psychopath because you're not fucking doing anything wrong.
No, yeah.
Again, the idea, no apologies, fuck it. You are doing something that helps out the economy, or not the economy. Well, the economy. It does help out the economy.
You're not wasting what you're shooting and gathering. And, you know what I mean? You respect that.
And if people could taste what we just tasted, if people understood how good that can taste, they probably would be on the same fence that they are with pigs.
It's the same
pigs
thing
are
I feel
cute.
about
Well, you go to that
venison,
store.
right?
Tasty.
You go to that store at the crossings at the jerky outlet or whatever it is, and people are buying alligator
Elk.
jerky and elk jerky and everything.
Yeah.
It's all great.
I had kangaroo jerky from them.
Maybe,
Yes.
yeah, maybe you'll open up your mind a little bit and say, you know what?
Because I got to say, a kangaroo is more like a human being than a swan is to me.
You've
And
eaten
I
a human being?
delighted in eating that.
The whole
was
upper body of a
amazing.
kangaroo
Yeah.
is
Zach, what are you
weird, dude.
thinking?
Yeah.
Our neighbor's jerky, you know. When he died, we made jerky out of it. It's great. He was a smoker, so it was pre-smoked.
It was pre-smoked.
My jerky is going to be incredible because I've been slowly seasoning myself with smoke and whiskey and bourbon.
Good
My whole life.
Good bourbon. Fuck yeah. Well, Jason, I want to say a big fucking thank you for coming on,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Thanks for having me, man.
This was super informative. Anybody, again, like Justin kind of already said, anybody that's listening, if you're unaware of things, you got to do research. You got to fucking look into things and not just jump on the bandwagon of this is upsetting to me.
That's what social media is, though.
It
the
is.
quick decision of
And
do
you know
I like
what?
this or don't I like this?
Hopefully
That's
people
what it is.
start wising up a little bit or just fucking stop social media. I guess at that point, stop fucking being involved.
Hashtag stop social media.
Be like Jack over here. Hey, get off the social media.
Get
off the medias.
You know, unless you're on the
Unless you're
Maybe using it
specifically
for a
on
reason.
the
Swan's
Pennsylvania
Unlimited site.
Mute Swans Unlimited.
Then don't get off the media.
Then don't. Stay on there and spread the good word. Well, again, man, thank you very much for coming on. That was fucking delicious.
hell yeah,
Again,
dude.
very
Thank
fucking
you.
informative.
And thank you for the
Thanks,
beer.
guys.
And thank you for the fucking beer. All the time.
best guest ever.
Fucking
brought
literally.
jerky and
Food
beer.
and booze. Food, booze, conversation.
Yeah, fuck you, Richard.
Fuck you, everybody else.
no, not Richard.
No,
James.
Richard's on your side. It was
Richard's
James.
on your
Richard's
side.
definitely-
Richard,
Sorry, Richard.
Richard's in the chat. You're saying that. Either way. As always, a big thank you to Mr. Justin Olimpado for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
Everything Evil said about Richard was Justin's opinion. It was just strictly his opinion, and Richard,
Sorry,
you
Richard.
can take it out with him. He's laughing.
We're
He's
good,
laughing.
buddy. We're good.
He's laughing. All right, and also Mr. Zachary
Shoot those fucking swans.
Stormin.
Yeah, buddy.
Zachary, shoot those fucking swan
Oh,
storms.
don't shoot the storm and
Shoot the fucking storm swan, man.
shoot the storm and
Don't
swan.
shoot me. Come on, man.
So it's all good. It's
And
all
for
good.
Moot.tv, guys, also go and check out our Brother Sister Love podcasts over there at Moot.tv. We've got White Wasabi, and we've also got Let Me Ask You a Question, hosted by Mr. Anthony DeAngelis and featuring Gregaman and our wonderful super producer EJ5000. That every Monday we drop on iTunes and Stitcher. So yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. For Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up, I am Kyle Mocha. We will be back next week.
Yes.
And maybe we're going to play some trap music for you next
Maybe.
week. Who knows?
Oh, God.
We'll see.
According to Zach's, oh God, I'm assuming, yeah,
We're
doing
gonna
it.
have to rate raps again. Remember how
I'm
well
gonna
that
rap.
went last
I
time?
rapped real well last time. I don't know about
Well,
you.
all right. We'll all write. Everyone has to write a
Trap
verse
raps,
for next week.
Trap raps.
Okay.
These don't have to be insults.
Yeah, I'm Jay Swan. I'll be back.
Jay Swan will be back in the house. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Here's our closing theme song to close this out, as it will. To play us out? Play us out?
Yeah.
Fucking Things Broken?
Fucking thing's broken.
Fucking
We
thing's
won't do
broken.
it live.
Moot.tv.
There's nothing more egomaniacal than singing the theme music for your own show. Who am I? Kelsey Grammer. If I could only drink like him, we're gonna